Hey everybody, welcome to Broadband Mississippi. We're about to go live on 90.1. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. It's going to be a great show. Go ahead and share the video, like, just tag, and share, and subscribe, and all of that. Because we got a great show lined up for you. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. And put in the comment section where you're viewing in from, so we can give you a shout out. Good evening, Mississippi. This is Broadband Mississippi. We appreciate you for tuning in again. I'm your host, DeKeither Stamps. We got a great show lined up for you today, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. The show's going to be a really exciting show. We got two good candidates that we're going to talk to, and we're going to talk about $1.2 billion of money Mississippi is receiving from some hard work that y'all have done over the last few years. But as we begin every show, we always say we want to remember those folks who are going through bereavement. Bereavement is a very trying situation, especially in times like this. And I want to give a special acknowledgement to the passing of Representative Stephanie Foster's father. She has been at her father's side for many years, not just recently. So if you see Representative Foster, reach out to her. She just lost her husband recently, now a father. So make sure you reach out to her, wrap your arms around her, and let her know that God is God. You have to be faithful, and you're definitely in a better place. So, and all the bereaved families out there, just reach out to them, let them know that you're a friend, and you got to be a friend so you can have a friend during your time of need when your time comes. Because one thing I know, your time coming. You might not like it, but it's coming. You're going to need a friend at some point in your life. So definitely reach out to those families who are going through bereavement, especially Representative Stephanie Foster. She's a good lady, and she is going through a trying time that we all must go through. So please keep her in your prayers, and all the rest of the folks who are going through bereavement. Our underwriters for today's show, Mr. Micheal Jordan Transportation Service. You can go to www.mjstransportation1.com for your transportation needs. He's always doing great work all around the state, specializing in senior citizens and folks with developmental challenges, and everyone. So if you need quality transportation services, maybe your church group or your church population is declining because you have senior citizens who cannot make it, or even children who cannot make it. We know several churches are expanding and growing because they started transportation services to apartment complexes to pick the kids up for breakfast, Sunday school, and church. And send them back home. Ain't nothing like people will do it. They will send their children to Sunday school. They will have them ready to go if you reach out to them. We got to preach to the folks who are not at the church as well. Not just the folks who are at church. We got to go get folks, bring them to church. And if you need that kind of service, you can go to www.mjstransportation1.com for your transportation needs. Also, if you're hungry, you're riding through town and you want some good food and not fast food, go on over to Stamp SuperBurgers right there at Dollar Street, right by Jackson State, where they always been. Go on and knock on the door, go on in and get you one of those whole cows between two pieces of bread that's tasted to the last drop. And if you eat healthy, get you one of them veggie burgers over there, a whole garden between two pieces of bread. But more importantly, it's gonna be that money gonna roll over inside our community and to continue to do the great things and offer great services. Stamp SuperBurgers has always done. Our show today is gonna be two parts. I got two great candidates. They're going to come talk to us for a little bit, and then we're going to have a special announcement at the halfway mark. We're going to talk about $1.2 billion that the state of Mississippi will be receiving in the coming months for broadband expansion. But first and foremost, we have Ms. Bethany Hill. She's running for Agriculture Commissioner for the state of Mississippi. Now, that's her name, Bethany Hill. But those folks around the Capitol, they call her Mary Jane because Bethany was one of the people who were around the Capitol working legislation and then also making it where it's bringing in experts to help us craft the Mississippi Cannabis Act. And she's been working with farmers and growers and producers and distributors and all kinds of folks that's inside the cannabis industry. So welcome to the show, Bethany. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
How's the campaign trail treating you?
It has been busy. By the time I get home this evening, we'll have done just over 1,000 miles in the last couple of days. It's been wonderful. I never made a stranger, and I love it. I love meeting all these people, and God, Mississippians are brilliant, aren't they? Aren't we just great?
Man. I love Mississippi.
Every one of them. I just love y'all so much. Thank y'all for taking time to meet with me and spend time with me, because this is just an incredible experience.
Now, before you even thought about this whole process, we were sitting down talking, and you decided to do it, and you already had your team with you.
Lauren, she's my lifeline to everything.
Lauren was prepared and ready to go, and I love seeing candidates evolve through the process of the campaign. When they first start off, they don't really know what to say or what to do. But then as they say it over and over again, and they start doing their research and figuring out, okay, this is what I need to focus on. This is some of the problems. These are some of the solutions that are out there. And when I see candidates that have multiple people in the primary, as both of the candidates who we're talking today do, and see them be respectful amongst the group and add value and to the conversation, I appreciate that, because there's so much divisiveness in primaries, and when you see folks who are running good races and doing things in a way that challenge people's ideas and challenge how people move in politics, it brings us better politics.
Absolutely.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, I introduce you some, present the others, Ms. Bethany Hill. Tell the folks a little about yourself.
So yeah, I'm kind of known as Mary Jane, that cannabis girl. I get introduced like that a lot at the Capitol. But basically, I was just a champion for the cause. I helped lead a grassroots movement that changed the political landscape of Mississippi as we knew it. Mississippians expressed their support and their vote in the 2020 election. And when they lost that, a group of us said no more. That time is over. It's time for the complacent voter in Mississippi to feel like they have power again. And we made it our mission to make that happen. We did that by working together. I was able to mediate between the voters, the legislators, and then also potential business owners and patients, and to bring all those ideas together under one umbrella and to show people like, look, coming together, we're going to do amazing things. And everybody did. And look at it now, we got 16,000 patients, millions of dollars already generated for the state, over 1,000 jobs already, and then 500 businesses. I mean, so already we see that when we don't give up and we all come together to do great things, amazing things happen. It's only going to get better.
So tell me a little, now, I don't do the normal interviews when folks come here to talk about their races. Tell me about what are you learning about yourself on the campaign trail?
Oh man, I'm learning a lot, actually. I'm learning more and more about how I ended up here, because I've looked around several times in the beginning going like, how did I get here? How did I end up running for state office? And I've learned about what drives me, what's important to me. And I've listened a lot to other people about what's important to them. And I've learned that my purpose in this world is to be a voice for the voiceless. And I'm lucky that I get to do that. I've been truly, truly blessed. And I've learned a lot about public speaking, which, before I ever did my first rally speech, I was terrified of public speaking. So I've learned how to be comfortable in a crowd. I've learned how to, if you're on the right side of justice, that, you can always be brave enough to stand up, and there'll be people there with you to have your back. And you just have to be brave enough to stand up first.
So tell us a little bit about what you want to do as the next agriculture commissioner.
I want to get everybody excited to grow. I was saying it, if y'all tuned in to Ty Show, I just said earlier, it's in 2023, let's use Jackson for an example, 1 in 5 people in Jackson worry about food security, but 5 out of 5 have recently had to worry about clean water. And in 2023, that just should not be happening. Regardless of your race, age, political affiliation, gender, or sexual orientation, if we don't have clean water and food, we're going to die.
That's right.
We're just going to die. So if that doesn't unify everybody and get everybody working together, I don't know what will. Cannabis did, but when you're talking about safe medicine, if we were able to explain to everybody and educate the masses on why this was so important, present facts. I don't want to have an opinion for you. I want you to be able to give your own opinion based on facts. Do I want your support? Yes, but I want you to have a very broad, educated, so you can be confident when you go to the polls. I want you to be confident in your vote for me.
Now, you got some good folks in your race. I've been seeing them on the campaign trail. So tell me about how y'all have been working, vying for the same position, but you're going to see them every time you go somewhere.
Yeah, they're great. And actually, we all have a really great relationship. When we've all pledged that, regardless of who comes out of the primary, we will support each other. And it's been wonderful. We have a mission. Our mission is to save Mississippi, and that unifies us. We're all trying to do something really great, and we have each other's back, and we will.
One thing about the state of food in the world, around the world, these wars are being fought for 3 reasons: food, energy, and other national interests. But food is the top one. The whole Ukraine war is about food. So that's how important the production of food and the economy of food is. If countries are going to war over it, that means that it's important.
Yeah.
So talk about just how you see you can move Mississippi's agriculture industry forward.
I think we should focus more on smaller farms, specialty crops. There's a lot of innovative things happening in regenerative agriculture that I'm real excited about. But mainly, I just want to revitalize the Delta, and I want to help establish manufacturing for sustainable plastics and products throughout the state of Mississippi. I do a lot of stuff with workforce development in the cannabis industry, so I kind of want that to translate over. So basically, grow a lot of hemp in the Delta, make some really great sustainable products throughout the state of Mississippi, give some good jobs with some good benefits to people throughout the state, and then turn around and, cure worldwide crisis.
That's right, all at the same time. So as we wrap up, I know you got to go. Tell the folks a little bit about why they should vote for you for Agriculture Commission.
I've been going down to Jackson the last couple of years, being a champion for the people, and it's been one of the greatest honors of my life. And this, I'm a girl. I don't take no for an answer. If it's for better for Mississippi, and if it's to honor the voice of the people, I won't take no for an answer. I'm all about building a better tomorrow, and I'm happy to sit in rooms and learn and bring in experts and take all the time we need to build that better tomorrow. But I'll tell you, the future is in medicine. It's medical cannabis. Our industry is predicted to be a $500 million industry in the next couple of years. And then, of course, hemp is going to be a $17 billion industry. Why? Why are those predictions there? And why is our Department of Ag not involved in either?
Those are serious questions.
Very serious questions.
So what you want? Tell the folks what you want to do and when you want to do it.
I want you to go out on the Democratic primary on August 8th. And my name is Bethany Hill, and vote for me. I'm the only female running for Ag. And support me there, and then support me again in the general election in November. And just, believe in a better tomorrow, and believe in the power of your voice. Your vote matters. And I know when we lost the ballot initiative process, a lot of people lost hope. And one thing I always try to do is just show you that there's hope to be found, and don't give up. Never give up. Believe that you deserve a better life and that we can give it to you.
Wow. That was one of the more powerful ones. I ask that question all the time. You got to play that one back. Write that down.
I'll write that down.
Well, you be safe on that road.
Thank you.
And God bless and Godspeed, dear.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Ms. Bethany Hill. She's running for Commissioner of Agriculture for the state of Mississippi. Now, next we have another young lady who I've known for years, is no stranger to the show. She's been here before she was running, and she's been involved in community activities for several years and the political process. We have Ms. Ashley Floyd. She's running for Hinds County Supervisor District 5. Now, DeKeither staff isn't endorsing anybody, because I got my cousin in this race who ain't even called me. But I want everybody to know that you got good folks in all these races. Listen to them intensely, because they all got great things to say and great things to share. Ashley's been a jewel for our community for some time. And for those who may not know, Ashley, first, welcome to the show. Tell the folks a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Ashley Floyd, and I'm glad to be here, DeKeither.
That's right.
I am originally from Micheal, Mississippi.
I didn't know that.
I've been in Jackson for so long that I tell people I've been here about as long as I've been from Micheal. So.
Oh, okay.
But Micheal is
still home.
That's still home. I'm a graduate of Jackson State University. I've been involved politically since 2008 when I started out with the Federation of Democratic Women. I helped.
And that's why I remember you.
Right. I helped Simpson County start their chapter there. And then once I got involved in that and I realized that I enjoyed organizing those ladies and getting people in place, that's something I wanted to keep doing. So it spawned from that Simpson County to me doing the same thing with the State Federation of Democratic Women to me being the past president of Hinds County Federation of Democratic Women. And then doing a little work in the community too, because I was also the president of my neighborhood association, which is Belhaven Heights Neighborhood Association. And been involved with the Hinds County Executive Committee, where I've represented District 5, and as well as the State Committee, where I'm representing District 5, but also at the time I was elected, I was in Congressional District 3, but now since they redistrict, I'm in 2. So I've been active behind the scenes with helping candidates like DeKeither and other elected officials get elected, and making sure that
stay elected,
and making sure that I keep those relationships strong, because I think with the position I'm running for now, those relationships that I've garnered over the years are going to be very valuable to me once I get in office.
Oh, most definitely. This business is not just about what you know.
Right.
It's about the relationships you built
right,
and who trusts you.
Right.
So what do you see as a vision for you that you have for District 5?
Well, the first one is I want to make
let me ask another question. For those who don't know the makeup of District 5, tell them, folks, what is Hinds County District 5?
So Hinds County District 5 is Belhaven Heights, it's downtown, Washington Addition, Georgetown. You have Dudeville, you have what Wood Street is. Then you go down Terry Road, have Old Byram, Terry, Learning, Utica, and Cayuga.
Now, it's very near and dear to my heart, because we haven't traditionally been in District 5 out in Learning. We're in District 2, but because of redistricting, District 5 now covers Learning.
Right.
Well, that's where I'm from. That's where my farm is and all that. So I want to make sure that that you get down there and meet good folks.
Plan to.
Now tell us about your vision for District 5.
Well, the first thing is I want to work on our infrastructural issues. For a long time, I thought that we were just being missed here. You know, even though the city also fixes streets, it's also the responsibility of the county to come in where the city can't. So a lot of the streets in District 5 are terrible. So I want to work on getting more funding towards, you know, repaving and fixing the underlying issues, so we don't continue to have to repave the same streets over and over again, or starting out paving those streets that hadn't been paved in like 30 years. I found out some roads down in Utica haven't been. Then I want to work on the economic stability of the county and District 5. I believe in order for our county to sustain, we cannot continue to miss businesses coming to the city, coming to the county. District 5 has a lot of great land, and listening to Bethany, and I have my hemp license. So I know the importance, and I know how much money that hemp and the medical marijuana can generate. Those are other avenues that we could utilize that maybe could put in District 5. Like you said, your family has farmland and all of that. And those things can be utilized. But I also looked at those instances where we have places like Utica who don't have access to a grocery store, and trying to come up with ways that we can address those issues in those unincorporated areas of Hinds County, making sure we're taking care of those areas as well. I believe that if we support our already existing businesses, if you support those people, then those people will pay back, you know, would grow back and put back into the community.
That's right.
So I want to support our current businesses as well as foster new business in District 5. So
we got some good landowners out there, great farmers out in District 5. So what have you learned about the district that you didn't know when you went down this road? Because see, the campaign process will teach you a little bit.
Yeah, it will. Well, first, I learned very important how massive District 5 is and how massive it's become after the redistricting. I was familiar with Utica, but I wasn't as familiar with it as I am now. and Terry and all of those areas. Going down in there, looking at what people really are complaining about and just listening to them. How the people in, like I said, the unincorporated areas, they feel like they're being left out. And, as a county representative, I want to make sure that we are inclusive of everybody and not just the things that people see.
Because a lot of times people don't understand in the city, in the county, all you have is a supervisor and a sheriff.
Absolutely.
You don't have a mayor, you don't have an alderman, a council person. You have a supervisor and a sheriff to manage the basic functions of your life.
Right. And when you are being left out by your supervisor, who's from those areas, it's worse. So you really feel left out. I just thought I'd throw that in there.
Hey, don't put me in the middle of the I'm cool with everybody on this ballot. And how many people, and how many folks are running for District 5?
7.
Wow.
Yeah, 7.
Okay, District 5, y'all got it going on. Get engaged.
Yes.
Get engaged.
And like you said in the beginning, I've enjoyed this process. I was a little nervous in the beginning because I know how catty and dirty politics can be. But to find out that, when we see each other, we laugh, we joke.
I haven't heard, knock on wood, I haven't heard that much. I've been hearing issues from District 5. I haven't heard that much back and forth or negative amongst the candidates of District 5 because you got some good folks in that race. I've been hearing a lot of good ideas that whoever wins that race will need everybody else who ran.
Absolutely.
So and this is my fundamental belief with all these primaries. You challenge each other's ideas so that whoever does win, you can at least get your idea. So even if someone may not make it to the runoff or may not make it to the whole process, there are always good ideas that don't need to be thrown to the wayside.
Absolutely.
That you can continue to work on.
Absolutely. And and if hopefully I win, I would like to utilize the candidates that also ran with me because you're right. They have a lot of valuable ideas and a lot of things to add to the growth of District 5. So they won't go unused, I guess I say.
Okay. So tell us a little about where you see District 5 going and where you see Hinds County going in the future.
I see it going, it has no other place to go other than up from here. I see more businesses coming back into Hinds County. I see District 5 growing in economic stability and economic growth. I see our roads being better. I see us having parks for places for these kids to go out there and enjoy. I see our law enforcement getting stronger and better as well. So, like I said, I see nothing but things, Hinds County flourishing, and that's what we need to see and stay positive about that.
Okay. So tell the folks what you want me to do and when you want me to do it.
So on August 8th, I want you to vote for me, Ashley Floyd. I am the only female running in District 5, and I'm also the first name on the ballot for District 5 supervisor. And then after you voted for me in August, you have to come back and vote for me again in November because it is 2 independents in the race.
You know that. The more you know. So ladies and gentlemen, govern yourselves accordingly. We got a lot of good folks and a lot of races. So make sure you listen very closely to what people are saying because you can pretty much use your discernment to figure out which way we need to go.
Absolutely.
And this is kind of off topic for your race, but more about what I'm hearing around the state. This is going to be a mixed bag election because you got some folks in Hinds County who aren't looking at the top of the ticket because they got some down ticket issues that are more important to them.
All right.
And so you'll have, people voting differently than they normally do because they're trying to stabilize the county and the city and in the local area. And you got some folks across the state who are going to vote differently. I don't think it's just going to be a party line vote all across the valley. I think you're going to have people all over the place.
I think so too, but I think we need to stay focused and we vote down ballot because we have a lot of great candidates that's at the top of the ticket as well. And we need to make sure we get those candidates in.
That's right. So vote the whole ballot.
Vote the whole ballot.
Don't just vote for governor and turn it in. There's
Right.
more questions on the test.
There's more questions on the test.
More boxes you got to check off.
Yes, because we need, in order for all of the other areas to be great, we need to start at the top.
That's right. So, so again, thanks. You can hang out. I got a couple more topics I got to talk. Any parting words you want to say, or you can just continue the conversation. I'm gonna talk about broadband.
Okay, it's needed in that area.
Oh, most definitely. That's why I asked you to come by. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I got an announcement to make, and when I say overjoyed, I am overjoyed. Now, y'all who have been listening to this show for several years, you've heard us talk about broadband over and over and over again. And we've been sharing stories and talking about how important it is for Mississippi to go forward when it comes to broadband. We've talked about how important it is for you to go online and take the little test that if you're tired of having slow internet or no internet, you can go to broadbandms.com and you can take the little screen test so that you can register with the state of Mississippi to get your house on our mapping system so that you can, in turn, we can know that you don't have broadband. A couple of years ago, there was a bill that we passed that is very important. I'm gonna bring that bill up here just a second here, ladies and gentlemen. There was, in the 2022 legislative session, we enacted House Bill 1029. House Bill 1029 was authored, I co-authored that bill along with Representative Scott Bounds. That bill created an Office of Broadband for the state of Mississippi. Governor Tate Reeves signed it, and he appointed former Senator Sally Doty as a director of the office, which is known as the BEAM Office, Broadband Expansion and Accessibility of Mississippi. The state will now have one point of contact for all broadband issues, and the BEAM office will function under the Department of Finance and Administration. At the direction of the 2020 legislature, the public utility staff administered $75 million in CARES Act funds in broadband grants, primarily for electric power associations. More recently, in February 2022, the public utility staff was awarded $32 million for 10 projects across the state. This administration and monitoring of the $32 million grant was transferred to the BEAM office. Now, what that did was, so the first step was writing the legislation. The second step was getting the funding. And what that allowed us to do was in May 2023, the U.S. Department of Treasury approved for BEAM's plan for approximately $151 million through the Capital Projects Fund. So you see how we used the most powerful tool that man's ever invented, is that daggum pen. We sat down and we wrote good legislation and used our relationships to get the governor to sign it. Then we put a strategy in place to start getting resources for it. And we started off with $75 million, and then we got 32 more million, and then we turned around and got $151 million. Well, I'm happy to announce that the state of Mississippi will be receiving $1.2 billion in money for broadband expansion. Now, that's because of the hard work of folks on this show and all over the place who in turn went to the website. We had several shows about this, and those of you who are watching online, y'all see the link is on the Facebook page there. Those of you watching, thank you for those of you who have already signed up and gone to the website and done the speed test from your home computer. And if you do not have internet at your home, you've called in and allowed yourself to take the survey on the telephone. So right now, I was going to say thank you, everybody, just for this first step. We didn't get the saturation that we needed, but we got more than we thought we were going to get when we first started this thing off. But we need the whole state to go to the website. But I want to just say thank you. And if you have no internet, You can't go online at all because you have no internet at your home and there's no ability for you to get internet. You can call or text 601-439-2535. That's 601-439-2525. Excuse me, 439-2535. Now, the reason I want to bring this up is because we talked about this for years, for the last year and a half or so, ever since we wrote this legislation, about how important it is to do this. And this award is showing that results can happen when you engage, when you do the things that we're asking you to do online. This is us showing you in cash money,
Right.
$1.2 billion of cash money that will be coming to the state of Mississippi for broadband grants. And the way we're going to administer this is we're going to have it as a matching so that utility companies can in turn match those funds and make those funds multiply even more. So I just want to start off by saying just thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for those who have signed up. Those who have not signed up, please go do so. But for Mississippi to receive $1.2 billion out of a $46 billion pot. Now we got 50 states. All right, we got 50 states with $46 billion.
Right.
And for Mississippi to receive $1.2 billion, that means that we overperformed.
Absolutely.
All right. So I want to say thank you for all of those folks who participated, who decided to, do the things we asked them to do. And for those who have not, go ahead and govern yourselves. Go ahead and do it, because we're still champion for more money in the future.
Yeah, I saw that Jeff Davis County wasn't on that list.
Well, it's a lot of folks.
I know, and I know they don't have any.
There's a lot of folks. Let me catch this call. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show. What's your question or comment?
How you doing, Mr. Stamp?
Hey, how you doing, sir? What's your question or comment? You're live on there.
Yeah, I wanted to say, I wanted to just put a shout out there to let the people know that the broadband that came out, how instrumental you was in helping to get that passed. And well, I don't know if you passed, I know how passionate you were about it. But my question to you, or my comment is about when the storm came about 2 weeks ago on the 16th, I believe, and people didn't know it, didn't see it. A lot of times people don't see people in the background working and doing different things. And I just happen to be out in the community, and I happen to be out there to see Mr. Stamps out there working, passing out food, water, helping people in the time of need. A lot of times people don't see that. And I just want to give you your flowers and let the people know how passionate you are. You may not promote it, may not tell people, but you be out there in the community, hitting people, not just in Jackson, but all over Hines County. So when I see you, you wasn't in Jackson. So
Right.
I just want to give you a shout out about that and tell you thank you for being an important person in our community and the passion that you have for the love of Mississippi. And I just wanted to give your flowers. All right.
Hey, baby, I appreciate you for calling in. And I don't necessarily, I'm not one of those type of people that do something for folks and let me go Facebook it. Let me take a picture. You know what I mean? Let me take a picture. I'm not the kind of person that say, here, I'm gonna give this to you. Let's take a picture of me giving it to you kind of person. Actually, I don't like them people. I don't like them folks, but I do want to say thank you. She saw me, she had texted me, and I was at the Walmart in Clinton, and she had texted me about, work crews and trying to get lights on and just talking about the issue. And I was out there with one of the work crews who were taking a break. They just got done for the day, and they were just kind of coming by Walmart to get some food and stuff before they go to their hotel. And we had got some donations and stuff together because we were out there supporting the crews, because even though there were some failures in the at other levels, the people on the ground, the utility workers, were out there busting their tails trying to get folks light on.
Yes, and we greatly appreciate that.
Right, so
because it's hot.
Yeah, right. So if you don't have lights, you don't have any air conditioning. And when she texted me, she was asking me about some areas, and I was like, am I here trying to help these guys get what they need so they can keep working and let them know we appreciate them. And then she's just amazing. She come out of the store when we were all out there. So I do appreciate her for calling in. But we are out there working. We don't do a whole lot of Facebooking, but we know that the people who we help know we helped them.
Great. Those are things that's needed with a great public service commissioner.
That's right. You gotta make sure the lights stay on.
Mm-hmm.
But the broadband piece is still important for you to do it. If you have not gone to www.broadbandms.com, do so. Please do so, because you see that we got some resources. It's not enough to solve the completeness of the problem, and these resources will be administered starting with underserved and unserved people. Right? That's the way this is written, and this came about because of the federal infrastructure bill that Congressman Thompson and I think Senator Wicker were the only ones from Mississippi who voted for that legislation.
They were.
And so I want to say thanks to Senator Wicker for stepping across the aisle, and doing what was needed for Mississippi, because we need infrastructure money.
Absolutely.
And we also need broadband money. And thanks to Congressman Thompson for their hard work. So now you see how the interconnectivity of government happens.
Mm-hmm.
Those of us who are on the ground have to give the data and the information and let the world know how bad situations are. A lot of times when we tell folks about what's going on, we always take them to the nice places. You got to go to the worst places, because you got to start with folks who don't have and are voiceless and get those resources. You just can't go get resources and stick them in place with folks that need them in the first place.
No, and again, that's when that who you know helps too.
Right. And so, I appreciate everybody for their work in this. This was a lot of work, especially the folks in the Mississippi Broadband Office. Former Senator Sally Doty, who is the director, Councilwoman Angelique Lee, works in the office as well. So there are several folks that are in that office. They got a small office, so I think it's like 8 people to cover the whole state of Mississippi. And they've been all over the state doing town hall meetings. We had one in Learned a few weeks ago. So there are people all over the state who understand the importance of broadband. And let me go a little deeper for those who, this may be the first time you heard me say this, but the first reason, there's several reasons to support broadband, but the first reason is because your property value will increase. People aren't buying homes where they don't have high-speed internet.
Absolutely.
They're just not buying homes. It doesn't matter how nice your home is. People are not buying those houses. So if you want your house to be marketable in the future, to increase in value and appreciate, which is the whole reason we buy homes,
right? For
them to appreciate, well, we need to make sure you have quality utilities, quality water, sewer, quality, stable power. And then right behind water, sewer, and power is broadband access. So that's why it's vitally important. And for those supervisors that are out there that are in these races, know that there are 5 pieces to economic development. You got to have water, sewer, power, natural gas, the cell phone. You got a road to get there, right? But those are the pillars to it. But that central pillar is that broadband.
Right.
And if everybody who is running for office right now would point people to that broadband conversation, you would help us. You out there knocking on doors, and you want to know what to say. Well, you go in there and do that speed test on somebody's computer. That's a vote.
It is a vote.
When you go in and say, "Hey, I'm here. My name is DeKeither Stamps, and I want to be your public service commissioner. Have you done this speed test through the state so we can map your broadband?" Well, they say, "Yes, I know." I said, "Well, let's do it again." You spend 10 minutes in somebody's house talking about that. That's a vote.
It is a vote, but I want to clear something up too. Running for supervisor, it is very important that we address that issue, but we will not be responsible for getting the people broadband. That's a state issue, not correct.
Oh, correct.
But I'm just saying,
That's right.
Because you know, I don't believe in giving false hope and then yeah.
So again, actually the utility companies will be the ones, the AT&Ts, the Comcast, and those ones will be the ones responsible for actually doing it.
Right.
The government is actually putting some things in place to incentivize it to get done.
Right.
Because connecting Mississippi and breaking the digital divide, we got so many people who aren't connected.
Right.
But what these monies do is they open up economic development. There are people who are working from home. I know a young lady right now. She has 2 full-time jobs, one in Virginia and one in Arizona. She works 2 full-time jobs virtually from my house.
So she really needs the internet.
But what I'm saying is, we can spur economic development right from home-based workers. She's there to put her children on the bus.
Yep.
Home when they get off the bus.
Yep.
Don't have to pay for daycare.
Nope. Listen
to what I'm saying, ladies. These are real opportunities. People cashing real checks where they get up, get dressed. She has a separate space in her home where she works from, and she's able to manage 2 full-time jobs virtually.
I think also it's going to make these providers be more competitive with their pricing.
Almost definitely.
Because I live in the heart of Jackson, but I'm limited to just one internet provider because of broadband, and I will prefer the other one because I know it'll be faster and it'll be easier for me because that's who my other business is with. But because we don't have access to broadband in the heart of Jackson, then I'm all for it. I think I need to go ahead and fill that test out.
That's right. You need to fill that test out.
Fill that test out.
You need to fill that test out. But think about the thousands of people who could work from home. And that's why this recent power outage was so bad. Not only did you not have power, the Central District of Mississippi has more home-based workers than anywhere in the state. So you literally had thousands of people who are out of work.
Yep.
Not just out of power.
Yep, out of work.
Out of work.
For days.
For days on end. So that's why this utility conversation is at the core of everything we must do. We must get the utilities right. So everybody who's out there, I get called every day. Somebody asked me to run for mayor. What I'm telling folks is, if DeKeither Stamps is not running for mayor and running for this, there's a reason. There's a reason. And if we don't get this right, not just the city of Jackson, the state of Mississippi is going to crumble.
Yep.
If we don't get the utilities right.
That's a part of
moving.
So if you
trust me, that's right. If you trust me to be your mayor, trust me to be your commissioner. I promise you, I won't let you down. You're going to get the same thing you've always got, but better. That's it. That's all you're going to do. You're going to get this. I'm not going to become some new person. You're going to get the same person, the same tenacity that you've always seen, but you're going to get it a little bit better. So I'm asking you personally, ladies and gentlemen, as a personal favor of mine. Now, I don't ask folks for much. I'm asking for you to first re-register to vote. If you have moved since you have registered to vote, I'm asking you personally to re-register to vote.
Right.
So you can vote where you live.
Absolutely.
That's the law. Vote where you live. I know folks may have registered when they were 18 and senior in high school, but let's say you're from McGee. Are you going to drive back to McGee every voting day to go vote? No, but you'll drive around the corner to your voting precinct.
You will, and it honestly, you want to vote where you live because it's beneficial for you because you're electing people that is going to affect your everyday living. So you have to July the 10th to do that. Well,
no, you got to tomorrow.
Yeah, okay. Tomorrow.
Go vote, go re-register tomorrow. And the second thing I'm asking you to do is vote for us in August and in November so we can move this entire state forward. I don't ask y'all for a lot. I give a lot, but I don't ask for a lot. And I'm asking for your prayers, your support, and your vote for DeKeither Stamps for Central District Public Service Commissioner in August and in November, because we ran for this position 4 years ago, and we got 49.6% of the vote. We got danger close to taking this thing to the House. And the things that we ran on 4 years ago have come to pass, and the ball has been dropped. So we're asking for everyone to take a look at our record. You can look at our record from our time pre-military to military service to getting back, all the way down up the chain, and we didn't just sit back on our laurels after we lost an election.
No.
We went and took a break for 2 weeks, and we got back to work, and we kept working in the city, and then we went on to the state of Mississippi and kept working there. And so all you're gonna get from me is a bunch of hard work. And you might have a cloud of dust, so we're gonna be revving to go all over the state. So make sure you govern yourselves accordingly, but we asking for your prayers, your support, your vote for DeKeither Stamps for Public Service Commissioner. Tomorrow night, we got an announcement too. Tomorrow night out in Vicksburg, there's gonna be a candidate forum. There's several of them coming up in the coming weeks. Let me pull that information up right quick. We got several candidate forums coming up, so make sure y'all get out there and participate in those. So tomorrow will be Warren County Meet the Candidates at 6 p.m. at 1009 Cherry Street in Vicksburg, Mississippi. You'll have primary candidates and statewide candidates out in Vicksburg, Mississippi tomorrow at 6 p.m. It's the Warren County Meet the Candidates at 1009 Cherry Street in Vicksburg, Mississippi. On Saturday, there are events all over the state on Saturday. So we'll be posting those on our Facebook pages. We want to round the show up by, again, remembering folks who are going through bereavement, especially Representative Stephanie Foster's father passed away. If y'all know, she has been a long time staunch daddy's girl. If you know Stephanie, you know how much she loved her father. So reach out to Representative Foster. Like I said at the beginning of the show, she lost her husband recently. Now she lost her father. As devastating as bereavement is, reach out, make sure y'all let her know you appreciate her, and help through those trying times, and all the families who are going through bereavement. Make sure you remember our underwriters. Our underwriters for today's show, Mr. Michael Jordan, the Michael Jordan Transportation Service. You can go to www.mjstransportation1.com for your transportation needs. Also, Stamp SuperBurgers. Go on over and get you some good food. You ain't got to go get fast food all the time. You can go get you some good food over at Stamp SuperBurgers right on Dog Street, where they always been. And as we end every show, we always say, never put yourself in a position when you don't love your own people. Because when you hate your own folks, you're part of the very oppression we're trying to lift ourselves out of. I love you, Jackson. I love you, Mississippi. Handy, get us out of here, man.